So, as part of closing tonight, one of the things that we can start discovering is that as we train our attention and as our patterning shifts, so we start practicing something different. Instead of practicing our old pattern of feeling oppressed or paying attention to what's going to go wrong, we start practicing in a way that allows this natural joy to arise. We actually start expressing it in a very real way in our lives. When we have that openness to the aliveness that's here, we actually start living true to what we love. We start feeling more spontaneous, more free to express what we love, that our lives actually become an expression of that. And I wanted to give you an example that really touched me. This is from a book called On the Res. It was written by a guy named Fraser. And he wrote this about the story of SuAnne Big Crow, a woman on the Pine Ridge Reservation. And she was kind of a hero of the tribe. And part of what made her such a hero was she had this real capacity to respond to the suffering there, which is a lot of poverty and drug abuse, but also to embrace life with this incredible vitality and spirit that we're talking about. As a young girl, she was told that to be good at basketball, she had to dribble 1,000 times a day. So her family went nuts because they had a concrete pad next to where they lived, and she was out there every day dribbling. And she went on to be the star basketball player who led the Pine Ridge High School to a state championship. But he describes one game that I want to tell you about. And this is a high school basketball game in South Dakota between the town of Lead and a team from Pine Ridge. And the background of this is that Leeds had taken land originally that belonged to First Nation peoples. So Lead is this gold mining town, mostly white, and had taken land from those that lived on the Pine Ridge reservations. That's the background. Okay, so Fraser describes the scene as the Pine Ridge girls are waiting to take the floor, and the visiting team is responsible for going and dribbling around the court and so on. And as it turned out, that the girls were waiting to take the floor, and the Lead fans were yelling epithets like squaw and gut eater, and some were waving food stamps, a reference to the reservations receiving federal aid, and others were yelling, "Where's the cheese?" That's a joke, meaning if Indians were lining up, it must be to get commodity cheese. Okay, so this is what's going on as the team of the high school girls were waiting to go on. And then the Lead high school band joined in with a fake Indian drumming and a fake Indian tune. Okay, so that's the setup. So the oldest girl who was supposed to lead the team onto the court didn't want to do it. I mean, it was just too much. And SuAnne said, "I'll do it." She was, I think, the youngest, but she went ahead and did it. She led her team into the gym and stopped at center court, according to Fraser's account. She took off her warm-up jacket, draped it over her shoulders, and began a traditional shawl dance, singing a Lakota song. The crowd went completely silent, Fraser wrote. Then SuAnne picked up a ball and dribbled around the court. Fraser continued, the fans began to cheer and applaud. She sprinted the basket, went up in the air, and laid the ball through the hoop, with the fans cheering loudly now. Of course, Pine Ridge went on to win the game. It says that not only that, SuAnne's bold act led to friendships developing between some members of both teams. So this story spread very wide, gone to national press. Some years later, quite recently, a reporter from South Dakota did some digging around. He started claiming that the story was filled with exaggerations. He interviewed people from Leeds. You guess that. So there's this disparity between the tribal version and Leeds, and who knows what's exaggeration or where the truth lives. But to me, in a way, the story became even more poignant because there's a mythology that's grown around it that First Nation people are holding dearly, the Sioux tribe's holding dearly. And myths have archetypal truths. And in this one, it expresses the longing in every heart that our inherent goodness, our dignity, our worth be understood and appreciated. And it also honors the courage and joyfulness of someone who can love what she loves and express it, to do that shawl dance, to sing that song. What if we could be really in love with our lives and really let that be expressed, the contagiousness and goodness of that? So I started tonight with Andre Gide, talking about joy being rare and the importance of a commitment to it. When we start saying yes to the moments and sensing our capacity to really let in the joyful moments, and when we start opening to possibility, which really, really allows us to open to the flow of life, in that openness and in that engagement, we discover what has been described as being happy for no reason. It's not that joy is based on things going our way. If it is, then it's got a tightness to it. Joy comes when our own way doesn't matter so much, when there's just a simple presence with the life that's there. There's an openness and aliveness that's just who we are. And I love that term, happy for no reason, because it's a true happiness. It's not conditioned. It's just inhabiting a presence that loves what is. So I'd like to close with a very brief guided meditation. If you will, just find your way of sitting that feels most comfortable. Allow yourself to check into the present moment and sense what it's like for you right now. Just with curiosity, feeling the sensations in your body and how your body feels, pleasantness and unpleasantness. And see if as you do, there can be that gentleness where you contact what's there with the breath and with that spirit of yes. Also feeling your heart, whatever the state of your heart is. Just giving it permission to be just as it is. Taking some moments to bring to mind someone in your life or some experience in your life you've had recently that brings up a sense of gratitude. And you might let yourself sense what it is that most brings up the appreciation about this person or experience, and just feel kind of inner bow. You might mentally whisper, thank you. And then whisper it again. With your breath, just to feel that sense of appreciation. There's a sweetness to it. You might bring to mind someone you care about who's having good fortune right now in some way. who's opening, who's healing, who's deeply happy. A very beautiful part of joy is called sympathetic joy, our joy for the joy of others. You might even send that person a prayer. May you prosper, be joyful. May you appreciate the blessings in your life. And to sense finally your own commitment and yearning, perhaps, to be all that you are. To discover that natural joy of being alive, that happiness for no reason. Sense what it might be like to commit yourself more fully to that. We'll reflect together as a closing poem. This is called Eagle Poem by Joy Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know except in moments steadily growing and in languages that aren't always sound but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky and wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all of this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle rounding out the morning inside us, we pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty. We pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty. Namaste. Thank you for your attention.